guys, thanks for tuning in to Miles to Go and greetings from the Pacific Crest Trail. I thought I'd start episode 2 with a few updates, so I ended up spending 2 zeros in Mount Laguna, which allowed me to get a new sleeping pad. I also traded out my Polycro ground sheet for a foil emergency blanket to help keep me a little warmer. I mailed home my leaking sleeping pad and a couple other things, along with some postcards for my nieces. I also mailed my ice axe ahead to Paradise Valley Cafe. I was even able to do a little sightseeing and grab some hot food with my friend Jen from San Diego. By the way, I forgot to explain this in the first episode, but the problem with my power bank ended up just being a problem with my phone's charging cord, so I was able to replace that at Lake Marina and everything is charging again. Taking the 2 zeros allowed me to wait out a storm that blew through and really rest up. I enjoyed my tiny house in SoCal's first tiny house community, and I hit the trail again on Friday morning, March 26th, with snow on the ground. Hey guys, so I just left out of Mount Laguna. I ended up taking 2 zeros there. I am feeling good, enjoying the new scenery with the snow on the ground, and glad to be back on the trail. The ice melting and falling from the trees kind of creates the effect of it either raining or hailing. Sometimes you get a chunk of ice hitting you in the head. But anyway, I'm glad I wore my waterproof socks today. Just sludging through the icy mud today. I'm actually really enjoying the snow though, it's beautiful. I am carrying 6 liters of water again this morning, and my shoulders are definitely protesting. Well guys, I just made it to Foster Point, and so far this is the most beautiful view yet on the PCT for me. What's special is that in the very distance back there you can see the first glimpse of Mount San Jacinto. So that's the first big kind of monster mountain of the PCT looming in the distance there. But anyway, this is just insanely gorgeous. Well, it's about 4:30 and I just got a full fill of water at Piney Point's faucet or something like that, and talked to a couple other guys there, section hikers, and now I'm continuing on. I'm gonna try to just go for maybe an hour more and then camp for the night. I just can't get over how beautiful this is today. Well, I am pretty excited about this. For dinner tonight, I've got loaded baked potato, instant mashed potatoes with bacon. Yummy. Hey guys, so I made it to camp. I went about, 8.8 miles today. And I'm just kind of random camp, did the best I could to find a spot. I'm always camping in bad places, it seems like, but at least it's not very exposed. I'm down low and kind of blocked in by the hills and that kind of thing, which I know the valley can get cold too, but I don't know. It was the best I could do, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so a few updates. While I was in Mount Laguna, I did get a new sleeping pad, and I know some of you will think I am crazy, but I went with the Neo Air X Therm, which has an R value of like 6.9 and weighs, I think, 22 ounces for the wide version, or 20 ounces. So it's very warm. It's a little heavier, but you know, I've been cold and I just wanted something warmer. So, so anyway, I have that. I'm trying it out tonight. So far, it feels nice and toasty. And then I did something super stupid. When I sent home my other sleeping pad that had the leak, I accidentally forgot to take out the pillow and the quilt straps that were in the same stuff sack with the pad. So I mailed my quilt straps and my pillow home to my sister and my mom. So when they get that, they'll have to send it back to me. And in the meantime, I'm just kind of using some extra cord to like tie the bottom of my quilt together and keep it up underneath me to stay warm. So it works. And then I just have like a stuff sack with some junk in it behind my head as a pillow. And that actually might be something that I continue to do. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Today on the trail was probably the most beautiful day that I've seen yet. The scenery was just really beautiful. I couldn't get enough of it. I just kept taking pictures and video and just, you know, really, really enjoyed it. My shoulders did hurt today a lot for whatever reason. My pack is pretty heavy. I'm carrying my full water capacity, so almost 6 liters. I think there's a water source in like 4.4 miles, but I didn't want to risk it, so I filled up at Penny Pines Faucet. And if I do find water in 4.4 miles tomorrow, I'll go ahead and get more there too. So anyway, water's kind of scarce right now, and I'm carrying a lot. My pack is heavy. Camp kind of early tonight. I was tired. Got something to eat, and I'm getting all warmed up and hoping for a good night and another beautiful day tomorrow. So good night, guys. Well, good morning, guys. I made it through the night. I was super cold again, which I just do not understand at this point. I have the X-Therm pad, which is on a value of like 6.9. And I have a 10-degree quilt that I cinch in real well. And I slept in my puffy and my wool base layers. And I just don't understand why I'm still cold. It's like, even though I have all these warm things, I am cold and I cannot warm up. So I just toss and turn all night. And to be honest, I'm kind of over the cold already. Not a good place to be right now. But it's hard to sleep, and then it's hard to get up, and it's just rough. It's not bad to hike in, but when you stop to take a break, you get chilled, and then, yeah, it's just, I didn't know that I had such an issue with the cold. So anyway, but somehow I'm gonna figure out how to get out from under my quilt here and take down camp and make breakfast and keep going. So well, rough night, rough morning, but I camped at 49.9. So as soon as I stepped out, I was pretty much at mile 50. So that's pretty exciting. seen a lot of day hikers and trail runners this morning. I think this is a pretty popular section of trail for good reason. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, I made it to Pioneer Male Picnic Area, which I think is like at mile 52.6, so I've come like 2.5 miles. On the way here, like in the last 0.4 miles or so, I hiked with a trail runner who was nursing a sore hamstring. He was really nice and asked me lots of questions about my through hike, and anyway, he was really nice. Enjoyed hiking with him, and I was hurting. My shoulders were killing me, so that made that last like half mile kind of pass talking to him. And then when I got to the picnic area and kind of set up, a day hiker came through and took a break with me. He's also a long distance hiker. He's doing the Colorado Trail this year. He's doing the PCT Sobo next year, and he's a trail angel right now. So anyway, just it's kind of neat. You're always getting to meet different people, and everyone's so nice, and it's just been, I've enjoyed that. I'm hiking alone, but I'm not alone. I'm getting to take breaks and meet lots of people, so it's all good. But I'm gonna put my feet up for a little while and take a break and drink a bunch of water, and then filter some water and head on to the next stretch. Several local day hikers I met at the picnic area said the next few miles are just really beautiful. So I'm excited about that. Windy up here. Whew. Well, I'm learning a lot about myself, such as I'm slightly afraid of heights, especially in this wind. I just laid down to take a siesta, and some other hikers just passed by, and I heard them saying they just spotted a rattlesnake, so that's comforting. So I just took a nice siesta, really enjoyed it. The sun felt so good, so good. Now I'm about to head back out. Looking ahead on Gut Hooks, it looks like there's a camping site in like 1.4 miles or like 5 miles. So that's always how it is. But I can always random camp if I have to, but I think I'm actually going to try to go to the one that's 5 miles away. And part of that is that I was already thinking that in an attempt to be warmer at night, I would hike later. So around like 5:30 or 5:30, when I would normally be looking for a place to camp, I'm thinking I'll stop and have dinner, change into my base layers, kind of do everything that I would normally do once I got to camp at night, and then keep hiking, warm up, and then when I get to camp, all I have to do is set up camp and go to bed. And hopefully not having that like downtime, plus hiking in my base layers for a little while, will kind of like warm me up so I'm not chilled when I go to bed. So it's a work in progress, just something I'm thinking I'd try today. So that's the plan. It's about 6:30 and I just stopped and had my dinner, washed my face and brushed my teeth and filtered my water and just kind of did my evening camp chores, changed into my warm clothes, my base layers, and now I've got about 1.3 miles to the Sunrise Trailhead turn off from the PCT. The campsite that I had scoped out earlier was actually a little bit past that, and I didn't think about the fact that I had to water or filter water at sunrise anyway. And I talked to a couple, Bruiser and Super Uber, I think, and they said that people do camp at the Sunrise Trailhead. So the new plan is to camp there, and I can use a pit toilet in the morning and get water from the tank there. So anyway, that's the plan. That'll make for a 10-mile day, and it's been a beautiful day. Kind of aggravating. I've had to stop a lot and my shoulders have been killing me, but still a beautiful day. I like hiking this time of day because the sky is turning such pretty, like, pinky purple blues. Well, I made it here, and there's apparently no camping. Well, there's no water at the spigot, so some people said that maybe there's some water behind the pit toilets and some jugs left by a trail angel. So I'm gonna go see if there's any water there. Well, it's not a wasted trip after all. Whew, thank you, trail angels. Well, it's my first night hiking of the PCT. Well, I made it to camp not quite as early as I meant to, but that's okay. I feel good. I feel warm right now. So 10 PCT miles today. I'm at 59.8, so almost exactly 10 miles. Alright, so quick update over coffee. So even though I went to bed feeling warm last night, about an hour in, I started feeling chilled again. It's hard to explain. It's like my body itself is cold. Like my legs are cold to the touch. Like I shiver and like I'm truly cold. So I was really frustrated and just didn't want to have another cold night. So I decided just to pull out all the stops. So I put on my rain gear on top of my clothes. And then I switched out my Polycro ground sheet in Mount Laguna for like a Mylar emergency blanket. Apparently a more sturdy brand than what you would normally get at REI or something. It's still super light and super small, but anyway, so last night I used it as an actual ground sheet under my tent because where I camped was super rocky. But last night I didn't because it was dark when I got to camp and the site didn't look too bad and I was lazy. So I had it in the tent with me and I put that over my quilt like a blanket, and I got so toasty warm. Like I was almost too hot, but I am just thrilled. I mean, I really had a good warm night, and I think that the biggest thing was that blanket, which is part of the point of the blanket, so I don't know why I'm like surprised that it actually did that, but it really warmed me up. I ended up having to take off the rain jacket and stuff a little bit later and was still hot, and you know, could have probably just gone down to my actual sleeping clothes. So anyway, I feel like I have conquered the world now that I have a solution for sleeping warm. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I'm doing physically. so my feet are doing great. I've had zero issue with blisters or hot spots. I'm doing the Injinji liners with Darn Toughs on top, and I thought my feet might be hot, but they're not, and they feel great. They're a little sore, and I have noticed that they're a little swollen sometimes, but really not that bad. Like, I haven't even felt like I needed to roll them out at night. I elevate them when I can. Ibuprofen and just walking, seems to relieve the tension in them. So feet are doing great. Calves are sore. Shoulders are sore. Again, I don't think it's terrible. I kind of think it all falls into the realm of just expected aches and pains. I do take ibuprofen twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, and mostly just so I can keep going comfortably. But I guess the biggest physical issue I'm having is just fatigue. Going up the hills really slowly because my legs just feel tired, and that kind of thing. But I think that will get better, and at least it's, I think, not as bad as having some kind of joint issue or shin splints or an actual injury of any kind. So all in all, I'm really thankful for how well I seem to be doing physically. And again, I'm just not pushing it. I'm doing as much as I feel like I can within reason. I'm pushing myself some, of course, but trying to just find that fine line between pushing enough and not pushing too much. So well, I made it 1.5 miles from camp, and I'm taking my first break. The first thing that stopped me these last few days are my shoulders. This pack's just heavy. So yeah, this morning it's my left shoulder, but I'll rest a minute, put some Tiger Balm on, and then keep going as far as I can. Doing good. Climb up this dirt road is brutal. Yep, this is my least favorite part so far. Finally found a place to take a break, eat lunch, and put my feet up for a second. A little bit of shade there. So I just had my lunch and a little nap and dried out my sleeping bag that was wet, and I'm about to start hiking again. So first I was complaining about the cold, well now it's super hot. Dirt. Super hot, and probably the hottest it's been since I've been out here. But I guess I better enjoy it while it's here. So anyway, heading back out in the afternoon heat, and first thing up is a climb. The high overgrown grass makes me think of Florida. Well, it's about 5:15, and I just got water at another tank there, and I'm gonna continue on. There's a campsite in 2.4 miles. I'm kind of sort of thinking I'll try to get there. There we go. So we'll see. That'll put me hiking kind of late again. I don't know if I'm gonna stop for dinner before camp tonight again like I did last night, but I guess I'm just gonna play it by ear. We'll see. Well, this section of trail is really beautiful, but a little scary, at least for me. This narrow path that kind of sticks to the ledge and goes and goes and goes and goes. So I'm just gonna take it slow, but not too slow, because I don't really want to night hike this. Alright, so it's about 6:10 and I'm 1.3 miles from the campsite. I'm still doing this little catwalk section. Some of it's not too bad, but some of it's a little scary. So anyway, my shoulders hurt and I'm tired and ready to get to camp, and I'm hungry and I want a Coca-Cola and all of that. But I'm just trying to pause to remember that, you know, it's not every day that you get to sit alone on the side of a cliff and look into the valley as the sun is kind of sinking low. That's pretty special, and I want to make sure that I pause to be thankful for those things, for these moments. So anyway, pretty special, pretty beautiful. Half a mile. You can always go another half mile, right? I just made it to camp a little bit ago. It's a beautiful campsite. I'm probably more exhausted coming into camp than I've been so far. And it was just a hard day of hiking, a lot of up and down in the beginning, and then that, you know, last 2.3 miles, kind of like the catwalk, sketchy, scary part. So very glad to be finally at camp, and it's a beautiful spot. I was beginning to think I was the only one out here past the last water source, but I ran into Bruiser and Super Uber camped just maybe 0.2 miles back. They got the first campsite on this little run here coming into Scissors Crossing. And anyway, so I was glad to see them, and glad I'm not the only one out here. So when I got to camp and set up, I did make myself like do some chores and get cleaned up and whatever. But when it came to cooking, I like got out the stuff and I was gonna make myself do it, and I was like, nah, not doing it. Too tired. Don't care. It's not what I want anyway. I want a Coke and a burger. So I just got out a Snickers bar, and I know that's terrible, but yeah, I'm just not feeling the cooking thing right now. Slept warm again last night. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Going to town today, which I'm admittedly kind of excited about. About 6 miles from Julian, from Scissors Crossing. So anyway, now I just gotta take down camp, which is probably my least favorite part of the day. So it's 8:40 and I'm hitting the trail. Bruiser and Super Uber just passed me again. So everybody's headed to Julian today. So the desert so far has been super interesting. You know, I've never been out west before this, and so it's just totally foreign to me. People can tell you, you know, be prepared for the desert heat or the desert cold or the dry desert or the whatever, windy desert, but until you're actually out here, you don't quite get it, or I didn't anyway. So it's sort of like being dropped on an alien planet. How prepared can you be for that, you know? But I'm happy to be out here. It's beautiful. It's strange, but it's beautiful. And I'm glad I get to experience it in this way. So it's no surprise that there's some adaptation that needs to take place, and that, you know, there are some pains associated with that. Change isn't easy, and learning in the hard way isn't easy. But yeah, I'll get used to this alien planet. And in many ways, it's really not that alien. You know, people are still people, the land is still the land, and beauty is beauty. So anyway. So the first part of this section after Mount Laguna, like probably, I don't know, the first like 15 or 20, probably 20 miles, was pretty coasty. Like, it was nice, not too difficult, not a whole lot of up and down, more down. But this last part is not easy. And honestly, I don't feel like the climbs are getting any easier. I mean, not that I should expect for them to already be getting easier, but anyway, it's making me work for it. Going slow, feeling tired, but it'll get better. So this is what I thought the whole of hiking through the desert would look like.